salary payment. Woman arrested for dumping a newborn baby in a pit latrine in Zombo District. And Moyo teachers blamed for poor performance of learners in schools. This and more in the Nowcast News Bulletin. It's the 4th of October 2023 and you're most welcome to the Nowcast on West Nile Television. Now let us dive into some of the stories making headlines today. As per the report from the World Health Organization, which indicates that 3.4 million people die every year due to waterborne diseases, commemorates Hand Washing Day on the 15th of October annually to raise awareness among the masses on the benefit of washing hands as effective and affordable to reduce infections. This year, Moyo District is privileged to host the national celebrations at Aruba Primary School playgrounds on the 13th of October 2023. Preparations have already kicked off and is expected to grace the event. Farish Majid reports.
The preparations for the Global Hand Washing Day in Moyo District are in high gear, as the day will be commemorated on the 13th of October at Aruba Primary School playgrounds. Several preparatory meetings are currently going on, with stakeholders laying strategies on how to make the event colorful. Today, on the 4th of October, stakeholders from both the district and the city converged at the district hall to discuss on the level of preparedness. The International Hand Washing Day is commemorated annually on the 15th of October every year. This is to raise awareness on the importance of washing hands as an affordable and effective way of avoiding diseases. The event is expected to be graced by Right Honorable Robin Nabanja, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda. Odongo Patrick, the Moyo District Water Officer, says the day is important to be celebrated in the lives of the ordinary persons as they encourage the citizens to take up the practice of washing hands so as to reduce on diseases.
This day is really important in our lives to ensure that we prevent from contracting diseases. We have realized that in Africa we are really falling sick because of minor diseases, and one of the key reasons why is because we are contracting these diseases, and it's because we don't wash our hands. Hand washing is a very important thing, and as a country we should take it up to ensure that we do more of hand washing to prevent contamination, to prevent getting diseases.
Honorable Chandini Luigi, the Secretary of Works, Technical Services and Security at Moyo District Local Government, calls for massive turn-up for the event so as to sensitize the masses on the benefit of washing hands, which he says has gone down in the post-COVID era.
So we shall be having a lot of visitors. I expect everybody to come and participate, even school children, because hand washing is very key. During Corona outbreak, people used to wash their hands, but I can see the number of hand washing has declined. So it is high time for us to campaign and mobilize community to put hand washing as important activity for their personal human hygiene.
Malo Navutia, the Mayor Ivu Division in Moyo City, implored the masses from the different parts of the region to attend the event.
So I can assure you, we're going to have a lot of entertainments, and this day will be graced by none other than Right Honorable Prime Minister Robin Nabanja of this country called Uganda. So it will be the first time for some people to see her. I encourage that communities come. Number two, we are not going to celebrate this day on empty stomach. Our experience has been that sometimes when we call public, we have a lot of speeches and so on. People end up going with the water or at the most biscuit and a bottle of soda. But this is an event where we're going to make sure people must eat food, really food. So I encourage that let us come from the city, from the district, even from other areas of the region. Let us come and receive the Prime Minister. Let us come and commemorate this day. Let us be washing our hands. Let us remain clean. Let us be healthy. Let us live long.
Moyo District and Moyo City will come together to join the rest of the world to celebrate this day, and a number of activities have been aligned. For instance, cleaning of the city, sanitation campaign, schools competitions on hand washing, among others. The last preparatory meeting for this event will be on the 11th of October at the district headquarters. Farish Majid reporting for West Nile TV, Nilecast.
And more stories coming from Arua City. Several workers at the Arua City compost site in Ewata Village, Eroba Parish, Bura Sub-County, Arua District, have expressed their dissatisfaction over what they call delayed and low salary payment and also poor medication and health equipment by their employer, Arua City. Osuta Yusuf reports.
Several workers at the Arua City compost site in Ewata Village, Eroba Parish in Bura Sub-County, Arua District have expressed their dissatisfaction over what they called delayed and low salary payment and also poor medical or health equipment by their employer, Arua City. Arua City has employed around 15 workers at the garbage dumping site, with each employee working for 6 hours in a day. A worker at the compost site, Oleru Betty, says despite the fact that they have worked for 10 years now, their salary still remain at 100,000 Uganda shillings per month, and it delays for 3 or 4 months before it is paid to them, of which 5,000 shillings is deducted for NSSF.
The challenges we are facing here: one, we don't have enough salary. Salary is not enough because we have worked for 10 years. Up to now, they didn't increase our salary. They're paying us only 100, but 5,000 is going for NSSF. Then we are receiving 95. But it is now, we are not receiving it monthly. Maybe they will give it after 3 or 4 months. That's why we are suffering here. We don't have uniforms. The uniforms we are having, though mine is new, but the first phase when they have given us the overload. Others, they have nothing like the other colleagues. They have nothing like overload.
Irene Dwaru, another employee at the garbage plant, decried the lack of medical equipment and delayed salary payments at their work.
Amadi bala kalorom bintura de NSSF wadinja altu afadi yo le treatment mananda mura dama musiru ba treatment ki ya fazi kakini ya jangoni gripile ikafazi ki sibiru dia ni kiti afarake tete mamuta sidara farake ya faraviki de ngongo na metamani erakiga ya duru amaduni isa nyari kajido po adana amadezi ngastota si adezi ngaraza be adana ara sa amani zingazo amaziki ngedozo sawa lo fazila zikuzu sawa zira amazinga lete musara rutanya amani waru.
The Arua City Principal Health Officer, Alfred Amando, says they usually conduct routine medical checkups of those workers, and it is only this year when they have not conducted it. Alfred, however, cautioned and pledged as authority to take action against anyone who will be found dumping medical waste at the garbage plant.
At the compost site, first of all, these people are supposed to be tested. We test for various illnesses, and when found positive, they are treated. And these people are subjected to routine medical examination. After every 6 months, they're supposed to be tested for other various ailments which are related to the work they are doing. It has taken a little bit longer, where we have not yet subjected. I think for this year they have not been subjected for periodic medical examination. Then, as they do their work, we also we ensure that they have protective equipment. The protective gears is the gumboot, overall, heavy-duty gloves, even the glove, the disposable glove, and then they put on heavy-duty gloves, and then they have face mask and the head gears, yeah, such that they are protected completely. Because in that you can easily get some occupational health hazards. In the first place, we have designated Oli Health Center for all medical waste generated from these clinics, these private clinics. They are supposed to take it to Oli We don't want any medical waste being brought to the compost plant. We used to have an incinerator at the compost plant. As I talked, it has broken down, so we don't encourage. So that's why I'm urging the operators of all the clinics and private hospitals to take their medical waste to the health center. We don't allow them to bring them here. But in any event we find, then we shall take legal actions against them.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Town Clerk for Arua City, Cornelius Jubilee, acknowledged the mega salary payments being given to the employees and at the compost site, but he blamed it on low revenue collection from the city.
Well, we have had challenges, several challenges related to local revenue. We do acknowledge the fact that the amount of money we are paying to them may not be commensurate to the work they are doing. But you will also appreciate that the city is in transition. It was only until June this year that we substantively recruited a site manager, a site supervisor, and then a clerk, data clerk. So we have been operating using the small human resource. So sometimes you assign somebody there, and the person you assign has another responsibility for which he is actually, or she is substantively recruited. So we have been having that challenge, and I think it is going to be addressed. And another challenge also, maybe that delays our payments. You know, the system the government introduced. We collect the revenues, we send them to Bank of Uganda, and then we get authority from Parliament to spend these monies. So sometimes these delays are occasioned in the process of seeing when this money comes back. We actually don't have the intention of delaying, because the kind of work the sorters are doing there and the environment they're operating in, actually we feel bad about it. So we are working hard to address it with the substantive staff. We're already getting prompt reports from the compost site, so I think we'll address issues immediately they arise, unlike in the past where we're operating using skeleton staff.
On the salary areas, Jubilee said the system introduced by the government, where local revenue is first sent to Bank of Uganda and later Parliament will approve for its disbursement, is what is causing the delay in the salary. Peace Oshaki, Osuta Yusuf, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories. Moving on to Zombo District. The police in Zombo District are currently investigating the mysterious death of a toddler whose mother, identified as Brenda Namutoro, has allegedly dumped her baby into a pit latrine in Mawasel, Paida Town Council, Zombo District. Alfred Jawok has more.
The lifeless body of a toddler was discovered in a pit latrine on 3rd October this year at around 5 p.m. Lucy Ungera, an eyewitness, said the suspect was arrested by angry residents in Jupandika East Cell and handed off to Paida police station for investigation.
Awinju lembe ni manya woru sawa ngwen midie wor anda sawa parario meko gwena tuch mawia nyuture ni an ngwich piny marach be ni soroni agamwa binu wamenyu isoroni kunyamera wanena nda penyutie isoroni wagamwa neno ni ang'o mawaro mutimo wachidu kama ebedi ie wanwange pe ma ebina kaka etie ngoni adano manyoli makakae ebino ko jarimo pare sama wanwanga epe ipacho kama ebedi ie wagamwa shiedo ashida sae anwange jopa nyondo agama duogo kode jopa chairman ka wachako kanonglo bunia wachopo timo nyandedi jutinge jutere polisi arachiel ko giko gine ko defense pa LC sawa magi shiedo do wakoro problemi polisi wagoyo simu ni dano matongtong wagoyo simu ni shaman LC5 wachiwanie wetu ku RDC wagamo do wagoyo simu ni rumegwa ma father de goyo simu ni shaman LC1 mi village mwa igamgi shako coordination ma eni kingi bir wakoro ku polisi tu sawa parashel ku piny gibino gitingo ginwanga ndanya tenu tie jogam jowodo nyaten madano cheke gineno gigam gitingo nyaten gidokode maginyuto fenya gibeteri odia gibechitingo postmortem lemo kende makecha pe.
Ongera added that the body was discovered on Tuesday evening by an old woman who went to the pit latrine. Joyce Kayeng, female councillor Omwawad by the town council, where the incident happened, revealed that the suspect was last seen with her pregnancy on Sunday before her normal delivery from home. Kayeng advises young girls to always consult all mothers in their villages before marriage.
Chunya yomungo masago na pe gamere madano batingu da kumitugu gamere kete lambariba mamongo ukelo en imer manisho karashelo ge kudako kaginwangeri gidogibedu karashelo ge fomi pacho megi mungu gamigi gimoge saminyo du gamgi bedu re shanu nega komnyaten moi manyenge branda ma mungu mikiredano eloketi ngudano da kumitugu angayongo ana mungu ngo ento mungu ngayo kama biti kuda iya an shalo dano mamegu muterodo alpa jomerumowa abe washoni akura makumeni mako ejiki ebe dashaki kuda jiki mashen kinu kuda medire ikum eni kura mushidu wa megu zo kana ngwanche keshen juru jodo mobe katimola mabranda temo nangudo nkawoni Uganda kenikani urunya tin me bayo esha menegu esha nanguru beru jatala chalo an uruwe beru MP moi uruwe beru president donc etimola makumasha esha keberu bare shunya yo mungoi la makumeni na
Geoffrey Aliana, Area Local Council 1, Mawasel, confirmed that the police visited the scene and documented the incident. Aliana added that the body has been taken to Paidel Center 3 for post-mortem examination.
I received information from LAR that Brenda delivered, but he threw the child in the pit latrine. So from there, after I got the information, I received a phone call from a lady called Lucy, the sister of Father David, that they got the lady, Brenda. From there, I told them to bring her here. So when they brought her, I asked her. She said she delivered in the latrine. So from there, I said that is the total lies. Then from there, I called my defense. They took her to the police station. After around 4:30, policemen came. We went and we got the child in the pit latrine. So from there, the child is now, I'm talking, is in the mortuary of Paida Health Center 3.
Efforts to get comments from Paida police was futile at the time of filing this story, but sources from police confirm that the suspect is under detention pending investigation. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nilecast.
Moving on to Moyo District, a section of the district education and political leaders in the Moyo District have decried that constant absenteeism and drunkenness of teachers as the major cause of poor performance of learners, especially in rural schools. This remark was made by Mawa Patrick, the principal of St. Andrew's College, Moyo District, during the celebration of St. Andrew's College 18 years of existence anniversary. Okumu Dominic reports.
The stakeholders stress that most of the teachers in the rural schools have the tendency of drinking alcohol during teaching hours, which makes them to get drunk and absent themselves from duties, which affects the performance of the learners. Mr. Mawa Patrick, the principal of St. Andrew's College, Moyo, said the absenteeism of teachers and learners, especially in rural schools, is too much, which has negatively affected the performance of learners in the district, and urged the education department to look into the issues seriously.
The students and teachers' absenteeism is high. Atika fujika ko patiti la punyetore malija nenza ongo nyabarango ya fujika ko mungwe ta skulu ya ko adosi hijoku Nyandi lo telefoni madida tisa ukakosede. Sa jiusi ya barang pada ida. La bunyi sa angua ne la bunyi ane. Ovuki la bunyi ni kafito tema me kula bunyi lisiko. Ledo kolongori madidi ane. Ose akila kane amala fizi la bunyi la tore kinyana tisigaro. Nisipeane kaya na sasi yako sawa umzika janelele.
Mr. Okuni Jacob Oduti, the head teacher Abeso Primary School, affirms to the issues of alcoholism and absenteeism of teachers in the rural schools, saying this has got a negative impact on the learners.
Affirm to the fact that the rural teachers are not doing their best, despite they have come from the same PTCs. The reason being, if you see critically, the rural schools, the teachers especially, to a percentage of around 50, a good number of them do not mind. This could probably be because of the environment, and it's so because the education department, the inspectors of schools, do not reach there frequently. They may go once a term, and this is for change, for a good performance. I am seeing this is not enough. So because of this, there is a very big laxity between the teachers in the rural setting compared to those in the town areas.
Honorable Dulu Samuel, the local council 3 chairman Oche sub-county, questions the criteria being used by the education department in posting teachers within the district, saying hard-working teachers are mostly concentrated within the urban schools and the non-performing teachers are often sent to rural schools.
It is good also to compare the performance in terms of sub-county and in terms of schools. But generally, I'm not happy for people in the education department, simply because you realize more teachers are concentrated in urban schools and more so teachers who are performing hard. Good performing teachers are more especially concentrated in urban schools like Moyo Boys Primary School, Moyo Town Council Primary Schools, and more of the schools which are urban located. Looking at the rural schools, you realize that teachers who are about to retire and more so teachers who are non-performing as a result of alcoholism are more posted in rural schools than urban schools. I don't know which criteria the education department is using for posting teachers. You realize teachers who are energetic, who can do a lot of research, who can concentrate in class, are mostly posted in urban schools.
Honorable Anyama Williams, the local council 5 chairman Moyo District, said his office is working hand in hand with the office of the chief administrative officer to track down the non-performing teachers in schools, and they will face disciplinary actions once they will be got.
The school management committees represent government, represent Ministry of Education at that lower level, and the sub-counties. In the sub-counties, you have a secretary for education. In the office of LC3, we have a parish chief who is a cow. In that parish, we have sub-county chief, we have LC3 chairpersons. For us to achieve and improve the quality of education, it calls for concerted efforts. For instance, if there are lazy teachers who are not reporting to school, who are absentee teachers, there is a school management committee there. There is a parents and teachers association leadership there. What do they do? How do they regularly report report to the Department of Education, to the sub-county chief, to LC3, to the district leadership, so that we are able to take appropriate actions to address those challenges. But otherwise, all in all, I want to say we do not have any practice or standard or intention of transferring non-performing teachers to rural schools.
Mr. Malimaiko, the district education officer Moyo, said if there are teachers who absent themselves from duties and involve themselves in alcoholism, then it is the duty of the head teachers in such schools to supervise them, not necessarily wait for the inspectors of schools to do so.
If there are teachers who are drinking during working hours, there are teachers who are not working during working hours, the first inspector who should oversee the work of the teacher is the head teacher. So this should not be blamed on the inspector. We cannot have the inspector of schools be in every school every day. That one is just impossible. There are structures there which we can use to ensure teachers perform to their duties. However, I'm aware that teachers have so many psychosocial problems, maybe because of inadequacy of salaries, or it could be other issues. Again, here the head teacher is handy. Every teacher is trained to be trained with the psychology, and psychology is supposed to be applied on guidance and counseling. We expect the head teacher to also do adequate guidance and counseling for the teachers who might be having frustrations, who might be having challenges in the workplace.
Every year, on average, 90% of the learners who perform well in the district come from the urban schools, and the remaining percentage comes from the rural schools, something that for long has raised concern among the different stakeholders in the district and calls for concerted effort in addressing the gaps being realized in the education sector in the district. I'm Dominic Antonio Kumu for West Nile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories, the Uganda National Roads Authority has commenced works on Kabale Kizoro Collapse Road in Hamurwa Town Council, Rwanda District. On the 4th of May 2023, the road caved in due to the heavy landslides, paralyzing transportation in the area, disrupting usual transportation, and causing inconvenience to the local community, impacting daily lives and economic activities. In an interview with Sempebwa Alan, the Public Relations Officer of UNRA, he confirmed that starting of the works at the collapsed Kabale Kizoro Road, saying that they have been able to get a contractor under the Craystone Investment Limited, adding that the repair will cost 3.7 billion shillings.
Good evening, viewers. You are most welcome for today's edition of Nilecast Sports News. My name is Zora Benson Pastore. Today is already 4th of October and the year is 2023, and a lot of stories continues to happen in the world of sports, more especially breaking stories that are coming in national, and we will also be giving updates about what is transpiring in European nights. When we talk about European nights, know that we are talking about UEFA Champions League, UEFA Europa League, not forgetting about the third tier of European football. I am actually talking about Europa Conference. But let's start with what is happening within the country. As KCA and Vipers yesterday, they all dropped points in Star Times Uganda Premier League. The first game that was played yesterday was actually between Bara City and Sports Club Vipers, and that game ended in a barren draw. Vipers were away from home to Kateka to take on Bara City. It ended in a barren draw. Meanwhile, the late kickoff game actually started at 6:30 p.m. and it was a game between Kasasiro Boys KCA. They were battling the team of Maroons. In the process, Amaku Fred scored a brace and it ended in favor of the team. That's Maroons. That means the game ended by 2-1. The first half of that game ended in a 1-1 tie, but Afmaku Fred netted another goal in the second stanza of the game to make it 2-1 for the team of Maroons. That means KCA, they are now winless in the 2 games they have played in the open games of the Star Times Uganda Premier League. Meanwhile, for the team that's Maroons, they have played 3 games so far, winning 1 and winning 2 rather, drawing 1. That means they are still unbeaten. And for the team of Vipers, 3 games already played, 2 wins plus a draw. And the win Maroons picked yesterday took them ahead of Vipers with a goal difference. That means they are now having 7 points. And Vipers, after playing out a draw with Mbara City, they are now at number 4. Meanwhile, the team that's KCCA that failed to beat the team Maroons, even a mere point they could not fight for it, still remains in the relegation zone. And Mbara City, after playing a draw with the team of Vipers, it has moved them out of the red carpet, that's out of relegation zone, and they now sit at number 12. Away from that story, still in a national story, Moyo District has been named as the new head coach of Uganda Cranes on interim basis. We are all aware that the head coach of Uganda Cranes, Micho Sedovic, was sacked after failing to guide the team to the AFCON 2023 that shall be hosted by Ivory Coast. And because of that, he was sacked. And along this period, Uganda has not been without a head coach. As they continue to search for a head coach, they have appointed Moyo District as the head coach on interim basis. And Moyo District will actually be assisted as deputized by Freddie Muhumuza, who is actually the head coach of URA and also on interim basis. It's not the first time we are seeing Moyo District working with the national team. Recently, in 2011, he was also the head coach of Uganda under 20 as the Uganda Hippos and guiding them to the African Cup of Nations under 21 finals. Unfortunately, they lost it into the hands of Ghana by then. And recently, Moyo District has also been a head coach for the team of KCCA, and he was sacked in the middle of last season. And as I talk right now, he is the assistant coach of Sports Club Villa, deputizing Darcy Stojanovic. We are still within the country, giving you more of what is happening within the country. Enoch Walisumbi has already been named as the new captain for the team of URA. Enoch Walisimbi is a person who has played for a number of clubs. He started his career with Bright Stars before moving to Express. He left Express to join a team that plays in Scotland called Peterhead, but his contract was terminated, and over the summer transfer window in the country, he was signed by the team, that's URA, and his deputy captain is, of course, Dennis Otim, the goalkeeper. URA also signed from Express, and the third goalkeeper, not the third goalkeeper, rather the third captain for the team of URA is Said Tseine. Leaving the stories that are happening within the country, this time we are jetting to Europe, looking at what is happening in European night, more especially in UEFA Champions League. It was not a good one for English teams yesterday night, as we saw Manchester United being beaten by Turkish giants Galatasaray, and the same thing also happened to Arsenal as they lost into the hands of RC Lens of France, but the difference was only the goals they conceded. Taking a look at how the games went yesterday before I give you the fixtures to be played tonight in UEFA Champions League. Union Berlin lost into the hands of the team that comes from Portugal, Sporting Braga. The game ended by 3-2. There was also another game between Real Sociedad that comes from Spain up against Salzburg that comes from Austria, and in the game Real Sociedad beat Salzburg by 2-0. Galatasaray, as I said earlier on, we are able to come from a goal down to beat Old Trafford-based club Manchester United that comes from England by 3-2. Now Bayern Munich had to come from a goal down to beat Denmark giants FC Copenhagen, and they were away from home and they beat FC Copenhagen by 2-1. And as I said, RC Lens of France were victorious over the Gunners, that's Arsenal, beating them by 2-1. There was also another game in the same group as PSV Eindhoven had to play a 2-2 tie with the team of Sevilla that comes from Spain. And Real Madrid got it late against the team of Napoli, beating them by 3-2. A good return for the player, that's Vinicius Jr., as he was one of the goal scorers for the Los Blancos. And also Jude Bellingham scored one, and the other goal was an Ozzy on goal coming from Meret. And the last game that was played yesterday was actually between San Siro-based club Inter Milan. They did take on Soccer Lisboa Benfica that comes from Portugal, and we are able to edge out Soccer Lisboa Benfica by 1-0. Those are the results of the games that we have played yesterday in UEFA Champions League. Now tonight, we are just some few minutes away for the kickoff of the game between Atletico Madrid and Feyenoord. This game is actually a quarter to the hour of 8 p.m. and Atletico Madrid, they are sitting at Wanda Metropolitan and they take on Feyenoord. The first game they played out a 1-1 tie with Lazio Roma that comes from Italy. Another game that will start at the same time, a quarter to the hour of 8 p.m. is actually a game between Belgium giants Royal Antwerp as they take on Shakhtar Donetsk. Royal Antwerp, of course, the first game they were beaten by Barcelona. Meanwhile, Shakhtar Donetsk were hammered by the team of Porto. Then the rest of the games will kickstart at 10 p.m. East African time, as we will see the team of Porto staying at Estadio Dragao in Portugal to take on the team of Barcelona. Meanwhile, expect a game between Lazio Roma and Celtic, and Lazio actually will be traveling away to Scotland, and Borussia Dortmund will have to maintain Signal Iduna Park, whereas Westfalenstadion, and welcome Italian giants, that's AC Milan. And in another game, a tough game to be played tonight at 10 p.m. we will see Paris Saint-Germain leaving Principality the Spark the Princess as they travel to England to take on New Boys in UEFA Champions League. I am talking about Newcastle. And there is a game, as we will see, Young Boys of Switzerland travel to Serbia to take on Crvena Zvezda as Partizan Belgrade. And the last game actually to be played tonight in UEFA Champions League is a game between RB Leipzig as they take on Manchester City. First, giving you some of the updates, the inside updates in some of the games. For Newcastle, they will be without some of their key names like Jolinton, who is out injured. Joe Willock is also out injured. Their defender, Botman, whom they signed from Lille last season, is also out injured ahead of the clash against Paris Saint-Germain. As the team of Borussia Dortmund takes on PSG, the team of Borussia Dortmund is also having some of their key names out injured. One of him is, of course, Marcel Sabitzer. And also AC Milan is also having some of the key names. In fact, Borussia Dortmund is taking on AC Milan, not with Paris Saint-Germain. For AC Milan, Benatia is also out injured. Loftus-Cheek, whom they have just signed from the team of Chelsea, is also out injured. And talking about UEFA Europa League, it is returning tomorrow. Tomorrow we will also be in person to give you the games to be played in UEFA Champions League. And not in UEFA Champions League, rather in UEFA Europa League. West Ham of England will be playing, and the biggest of it is, of course, Liverpool taking on Union Saint-Gilloise that comes from Belgium. With that, we have come to the end of today's edition of NILE Sports News. My name remains Oraku Benson Pastore. Have the best of your moments. We'll link up again tomorrow. Enjoy the games that are coming tonight in UEFA Champions League.
Thank you, Rako Benson Pastore, for the sports news and the sports highlight. And with that, viewer, that